Hello and welcome to another Rally Tactical Review. I'm your host, 45 Auto All Day, and today we're taking a look at the SIG Sauer P229 Legion SAO versus the Staccato CS. Let's dig in. Versus sounds a little spicy, and before you keyboard commandos start pounding away, let me just say this. This is more of a comparison than anything else. Each of these has strengths and weaknesses, so let's dive in and go over some specific pros and cons for each gun. Let's do something a little different here though. Instead of going over all the detailed specs on each gun that you can find on every manufacturer's website, we're going to focus on their shootability and their rolls. We'll start from muzzle to mag. The Staccato CS is their newest model and comes in noticeably smaller than the rest of the lineup. Starting at the muzzle, we have a 3.5-inch bull barrel that provides decent accuracy even while shooting fast strings. If you do your part, the gun will do its part. Sitting above the barrel, we have a green fiber optic front sight, and while I prefer tritium, it's really nice. It's so bright in the Florida sun. Between the blacked out rear and the bright front sight, finding and staying on targets is all too easy. Below the barrel, we find an accessory rail that can accommodate Surefire or Streamlight weapon lights. Moving back from there, we come to the trigger, which is really the heart of the gun in my opinion. I love 1911 triggers. They're hard to beat, and this is very similar. As soon as the safety comes off, you're at the wall, ready for that crisp, clean break. No slack, no take up, you're just there. Stepping away from the trigger, we have the new grip module on this model. While it sheds some weight, it still retains an impressive 16+1 capacity, putting its bigger brothers to shame. CS magazines are drastically smaller than the C2 and P model mags, which somehow feels so bulky when compared to the CS. Staccato's ingenuity with these new mags is incredible. Kind of like the 365 macro when it came out, it makes you wonder how much more ammo they'll magically cram into these things over the next 5 years. The CS magazines just feel refined. No sharp edges or corners, and nice bright orange followers. I really like them. But while those magazines are nothing short of amazing, they're also very expensive, and not always readily available. You're looking at $70 per mag, and that might be a huge drawback for some. The new grip texture is another refined feature on this gun. I've run 4 handgun courses with my Staccato C2, and I can honestly say that this is a huge improvement. There's very little to gripe about on the CS, except for the price. Good lord, the price. A base model CS, nothing fancy, will run you 2,500 smackers from Staccato and a 180-day wait. Or you can brave the open market on GunBroker, and I'm currently watching one at bid for $2,770. That is a healthy chunk of change for this gun. Now let's switch gears and look at another single action gun. The SIG P229 Legion SAO, single action only. I feel like this gun needs no lengthy introduction. Most shooters are very familiar with the classic SIG line. It comes in at 9 ounces heavier than the Staccato, but that extra weight makes it shooting much smoother. Starting from muzzle to mag again, this model has a threaded barrel so I can run it suppressed, which it does flawlessly. Except for an unusual amount of fouling on the front of my Romeo, I've run 5 different types of handguns suppressed with optics, and this is the worst I've seen. But moving on. The sights on the gun are SIG's X-ray suppressor height sights, which I absolutely love. I'm a big fan of tritium sights, and these are my favorite. The accessory rail on the bottom can fit a wide range of lights and lasers. Inside the gun's oversized trigger guard is the reason I bought this particular SAO model, the trigger. I love this flat face trigger and how smooth it feels. While I wished it didn't have about a 1/4 inch of creep before the wall, I will say that I like it more than the standard DASA that we're used to in the SIG Classic line. It's not as nice and crisp as the Staccato, but that's to be expected when you're talking about a difference of nearly $1,200. The controls on the SIGs are my least favorite part. I feel like this thing gets a little bit crowded with the safety and the slide stop being so close together. The safety is in the perfect spot, but the slide release is just out of reach and a little awkward to get to. It takes some training and some deliberate action to get around that, but I find that after about 300 rounds down the pipe, I'm getting a little bit more natural with it. Now let's get a little grippy. The grips on the Legion model are superb. They are what we have needed all along on the classic SIG line. I was never a fan of those E2 grips. Ugh. All in all, you're looking at a very well-rounded gun with the 229. With plenty of nice features and high quality, the Legion SAO is a clear contender for me. So what are we left with? We have here two high-quality single-action guns that are very similar in size. The CS fills its role of concealed carry better than the 229, as it should, because that's exactly what it was made for. That's its sole purpose. But it comes in at over twice the cost. The 229, on the other hand, can fill that role, though not as well. The SIG is better suited to fill a variety of other roles that the CS would struggle in. From a nightstand, to a duty sidearm, to a hiking trip, to even just being a range toy. The 229 is funner to shoot, a little smoother, and less snappy. I'd give the CS a 9.5 in the role it was made for, while the 229 would get 8s across the board on all other roles. But that's just my opinion, and if you don't like it, or if you do, please let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe too. We hope you've enjoyed this review. For more gun and gear related content, don't forget to check us out on Instagram at Guns for Less and 45 Auto all day. And as always, remember to stay safe, stay smart, and stay frosty.